chosen one. You are not reading this by mistake. Heaven has drawn you to this moment because something in the spirit realm has shifted, and your name is now echoing in that shift. The silence you've been walking through wasn't emptiness, it was preparation. While others thought you were stuck, God was securing your position. While you felt forgotten, heaven was arranging the hour of your unveiling. That hour is now. This message isn't mere encouragement, it is a divine summons. It is heaven's way of saying, ready yourself because the stranger with the key is already being sent. You've been faithful in secret, and now the secret is becoming sacred strategy. What felt like delay was God's decision to build you, not showcase you. But when heaven calls, everything must move. Not everyone will sense this urgency. Many will scroll past and feel nothing. But if your spirit is trembling right now, if something inside you feels both reverent and restless, then heaven is speaking directly to you. And you cannot treat this moment lightly. You are standing at the edge of fulfillment, but without spiritual alertness, even divine timing can be missed. The person God is sending will not recognize your appearance. They will recognize your oil. And if you're buried in fear, bitterness, or confusion, you may not carry the fragrance they're drawn to. If your spirit bears witness, don't scroll past, seal it. Type 777 in the comments as a prophetic act of alignment, declaring, I'm awake, I'm ready, I say yes. Let heaven see your response. This is your moment. Don't miss what God is unlocking. This is not a season to play small. It's not the time to overthink, perform, or please people. This is the moment to posture your heart in surrender and let God finish what He started. Your private obedience has reached heaven's courtroom. Your name has been whispered into places your feet haven't touched. As C.S. Lewis profoundly wrote in The Weight of Glory, there are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. You chosen one are no mere mortal. Your eternal significance has drawn heaven's attention, aligning your destiny with divine favor. And now the heavens are releasing alignment favor, and the very person who carries access to your next chapter. But remember, timing is sacred, and heaven does not wait for indecision. When the door opens, it will not stay open forever. If your spirit isn't ready, the one who carries your key may walk past without knowing why they hesitated. So prepare now. Purify your motives. Consecrate your posture. As C.S. Lewis wrote in the Screwtape Letters, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Your courage, chosen one, is now required to stand ready with a purified heart, welcoming the divine stranger who holds your key with bold faith. The call has gone out. The hour has struck. The only question is, will you be ready when destiny knocks? When heaven wants to shift your life, it rarely uses the familiar. God does not rely on the people who once overlooked you, misunderstood you, or outgrew the language of your calling. Instead, He sends someone you've never met, someone with influence, authority, or access, whose heart has been stirred by the Spirit to move on your behalf. Not because you asked, and not because you performed, but because your obedience in the dark has aligned with a divine assignment in the light. This person may not look like a miracle. They may not carry a Bible or speak your language. They may walk into your life through business ministry or even a conversation you never planned. But make no mistake, they were sent, not stumbled upon. And they are not coming out of admiration. They are coming because heaven has whispered your name. You don't need to convince them. You won't have to pitch your story or prove your worth. They won't be impressed by what you've built on the outside, but compelled by what you carry on the inside. There will be a pull in their spirit. They cannot explain. You will feel unfamiliar to them, yet strangely familiar, as if heaven placed you in their path long before either of you were aware. And that's because it did. This is not networking. This is not strategy. This is divine collision. While you were praying for breakthrough, they were receiving instructions. While you were breaking curses in your bloodline, they were gathering resources. While you were fasting for clarity, they were getting dreams, impressions, and leadings that didn't make sense until they find you. Their presence in your life will not be casual. It will be catalytic. But don't expect the connection to look ordinary. Divine things rarely do. You may be tempted to push them away, to doubt their motives, to shrink back, because it feels too easy after years of hardship. Don't let rejection train you to resist recognition. Don't let familiarity with struggle cause you to fumble favor. This person will not come to take credit or control you. They will come to confirm you, to unlock what's already in you, and elevate what God has been forming silently. When they come, things will move quickly. Doors will swing open without effort. Conversations will lead to sudden access. One sentence from their mouth will do more than 10 years of striving could, and you will know this is not coincidence. This is heaven's orchestration. So watch carefully. Stay grounded in the spirit. Guard your heart, but don't close it. Keep your discernment sharp, but your spirit soft. Because this stranger may look ordinary, but they carry extraordinary assignment. And when heaven sends someone like this, it's not for your comfort, it's for your calling. Chosen one, you must release the idea that your breakthrough will come through those who know your past. God is not obligated to use the people who grew up with you, prayed beside you, or watched you struggle. In fact, the deeper your assignment, the more likely He is to use someone completely unfamiliar, someone untouched by your history, but tethered to your destiny. The ones you expected to support you may not have the spiritual vision to recognize you now. They saw who you were, not who you are becoming. God does not build future glory on the foundation of past comfort. He often bypasses the expected, the familiar, the predictable, because He needs vessels untainted by comparison, control, or assumption. The person He is sending won't be emotionally attached to your former failures. They won't be weighed down by the version of you that others still cling to. Instead, they will see your oil without knowing your wilderness. And because they are free from your past, they are qualified to partner with your future. This is heaven's wisdom. It protects the purity of the connection. If those from your past were assigned to your promotion, they might try to take ownership of your elevation. They might think your platform is something they helped build and expect influence in return. But the person God is sending has no agenda, only obedience. They don't want your spotlight. They want to unlock what heaven told them belongs to you. Don't be surprised if this divine helper seems uninterested in your resume or your recognition. They may not ask for your story because God has already given them enough to know their role. Their certainty won't come from facts. It will come from a knowing that only the Spirit can give. They'll look at you and see beyond what others missed. Not because you proved anything, but because heaven illuminated your purpose to them. You've been hidden, and that was by design. God needed to keep you in the secret place so that only those with spiritual eyes could find you. The one He's sending doesn't need introductions. They need only the signal. And once they receive it, they will move quickly, decisively, without needing external validation. Chosen one, understand this clearly. If you keep expecting recognition from the familiar, you may miss the divine that looks unfamiliar. God is too intentional to recycle old sources for a new season. What He's about to do will not be explained by connection. It will only be explained by covenant. And when it happens, no one will be able to take the credit, not even you. While you were walking through wilderness, someone else was being prepared in a palace. While you were on your knees crying for clarity, another was standing in silence, sensing a name they hadn't heard before your name. While you were fasting and fighting off discouragement, they were being refined through decisions, delayed assignments, and strange burdens they couldn't explain. As C.S. Lewis wrote in The Problem of Pain, pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Your wilderness and their burdens, chosen one, were God's megaphone rousing both of you to prepare for this divine collision. Your lives never touched your paths, never crossed, yet your spirits were moving toward the same moment. Heaven has been orchestrating two journeys in perfect sync. You thought your prayers were echoing into emptiness, but they were being received as coordinates in heaven's command room. While you were breaking bloodline curses, heaven was preparing someone with the authority to bless what you've been building in secret. You didn't know their name, but God did. They don't know your face, but they felt your presence in their spirit. This is not imagination, it's alignment. Your obedience in silence was not isolated. It was part of a divine convergence. God has been working in two realms, one in your wilderness, the other in their access. You've been climbing the mountain of surrender. They've been given keys to doors you don't even know exist. What felt like years of delay was actually years of coordination. The collision is near. Do not underestimate how heaven prepares people for divine intersections. This person who has power, credibility, resources, or a voice was not elevated for their own sake. Their position was preparation to serve your transition. They may carry influence in business, ministry, government, or culture, but their real assignment is spiritual, to recognize the oil you carry and to activate what God has hidden in you for such a time as this. And understand this. Their yes will come not from emotion but from holy compulsion. They won't help you because they like you. They'll help because their spirit cannot rest until they do. They are the kind of person God troubles at night, whispers to in prayer, and gives no peace until they obey. You are the reason for their unrest, and they won't even know why until they meet you. So be mindful, this encounter is not random, it's a meeting written in heaven's archives. Your journey was not a mistake. It was preparation for the moment when destiny and obedience collide. What you endured alone will now be multiplied through divine partnership, and when it happens, you will know God did not forget your prayers. He was preparing someone else to become the answer. Chosen one, you were never meant to chase what heaven already assigned to find you. What God has ordained for your life is not hiding from you, it's being released toward you. The connection that's coming isn't something you have to pursue, impress, or convince. It will recognize you by your obedience, not your visibility. Divine favor doesn't follow fame, it follows fire, the kind of fire that refines you in secret. You won't need to scheme, strive, or show off. The person coming won't be moved by the outer version of you. They'll respond to the oil you carry, the weight of glory in your words, the fire of surrender in your presence. They won't know your full story, but they'll feel the atmosphere around you shift. God will trouble their spirit until they act. They'll wake up thinking about you without knowing why. They'll feel a divine pull to reach out, to open a door, to bless what they've never seen before. This connection will bypass your logic. It won't make sense to those who watched you toil, suffer, and be overlooked, but it will make perfect sense in heaven's records. Because while you were buried in preparation, heaven was breathing your name into the heart of someone with power. Your season of silence was never emptiness. It was concealment for protection. But now concealment is turning into commissioning. When this person appears, don't dismiss it. Don't disqualify yourself because it feels too unfamiliar, too sudden, too good. You've been conditioned by years of rejection, but this is not another test. This is the response to your years of reverent yes to God when no one was watching. Don't mistake divine recognition for coincidence. Don't miss your moment by expecting it to come in a more comfortable form. You've been trained in the shadows. Now someone is being sent to recognize what the shadows could not hide. And here's what you must understand. This divine helper is not responding to your charm or your gifting. They are responding to heaven's voice. Their yes to you is actually their yes to God. And your assignment is to receive humbly, boldly, reverently. Not as someone entitled, but as someone appointed. So get ready. Stay pure in posture. Don't chase the moment, become the vessel the moment is chasing. Let the Spirit finish the work in you, because when they arrive, there won't be time to prepare, only time to walk through the door. The connection you've been waiting for is not coming because of who you know. It's coming because heaven knows exactly where to find you. You felt unseen. You've watched others rise while you stayed hidden. You've listened to doors slam, opportunities vanish, and voices go silent. And still you remained faithful. Still you prayed when no one noticed, served when no one applauded, and showed up when it seemed pointless. You thought nothing was moving, but heaven was. While you were being overlooked on earth, your name was being whispered in rooms your feet have never touched. As C.S. Lewis wrote in letters to Malcolm chiefly on prayer, joy is the serious business of heaven. This joy, chosen one, is heaven's serious business manifested in the divine favor, now elevating you, a testament to your faithful obedience in the shadows. There are conversations you've never heard, tables you've never been invited to, and decisions you didn't know existed where your name was spoken. Not because of your resume, not because of your network, but because of your obedience, because heaven never forgets a surrendered heart. While you were sowing in silence, the Spirit of God was placing your name into the minds of leaders, gatekeepers, decision-makers, and influencers, people who have no natural reason to know you, yet feel divinely drawn to you. This is the supernatural reality of favor. It doesn't announce itself with loud applause. It moves like wind, silent, sudden, sovereign. And by the time you see the fruit, the roots have long been growing underground. The platforms you've prayed for are already aligning. The positions you thought were out of reach are now sensing your name like a frequency being broadcast from the throne room of God. Do not underestimate what heaven can do without your presence. Your name carries spiritual weight. It's been carried into meetings you weren't qualified for, into assignments you never applied for, into territories you've never traveled. And when the door finally opens, you'll walk into rooms where people say, I've heard of you. I don't know how, but your name has come up again and again. That is not coincidence. It is covenant. It is the fulfillment of the seed you sowed when no one was watching. It is the manifestation of the tears you cried in secret. And when it happens, don't be shocked. Be ready, because this is what divine visibility looks like. It is not performance-driven. It is presence-led. It is not about exposure. It is about assignment. So walk boldly into what's calling you, not with pride, but with clarity. Not with entitlement, but with deep awareness that God went ahead of you. Your name is already seated in rooms of influence. Now heaven is about to bring your body into alignment with your name's reputation. You may still be in the wilderness, but your name is already in Canaan. And where your name has gone, favor will follow. There are seasons where nothing seems to move, no matter how hard you pray, how long you wait, or how purely you live. You fast, you declare, you press forward, but everything stays still, as if some invisible resistance is holding back your momentum. That resistance wasn't punishment. It was divine restraint, because when acceleration is heaven's will, God doesn't need motion. He needs the right moment. And when that moment comes, it doesn't arrive slowly. It comes suddenly. One conversation, one door, one divine helper carrying the authority to unlock 1,000 prayers with a single yes. When the stranger God has appointed finds you, they won't bring opportunity, they'll bring access. And access accelerates. What took years to build in private will erupt in public within days, not by striving, not by force, but by alignment. Because when heaven releases the right person, time obeys. Chosen one, you are not behind. You are not late. You are right on heaven's clock. And the moment this person enters your life, the timeline will shift. The delays you couldn't name will dissolve. The weight you've carried will lift. And the clarity you've begged God for will settle on you like oil. Because what seemed slow was never about time. It was about orchestration. And the one God sends to you is part of that orchestration. They don't just carry help. They carry heavenly momentum. But here's what you must remember. Acceleration requires capacity. The speed at which things will unfold could overwhelm you unless you remain anchored. Don't confuse fast favor for shallow blessing. What's coming is fast but deep, sudden but sacred. Immédiat but éternel. You must move with discernment, or you'll mismanage what you've been praying for. When they come, everything will quicken. Ideas will unfold. Resources will appear. Platforms will open. Conversations will lead to covenants. And you won't have to manipulate a single thing, because this isn't a result of your hustle, it's a release from God's hand. He has seen your suffering. He has counted your tears. He has preserved your name through rejection, misunderstanding, and delay. And now he is responding with speed, not to impress you, but to establish you. So be ready. Keep your heart pure. Keep your motives clean. Because when the door opens, it won't creak, it will swing. And the very thing you thought would take 10 years will take 10 days. Not because of who you know, not because of your strategy, but because of who he sent. And when they come, you'll feel it in your bones. This is not breakthrough. This is divine appointment moving at the speed of obedience. Chosen one, this elevation is not about applause. It is not about fame, nor is it about proving anyone wrong. You are not being lifted to shine. You are being lifted to serve. This isn't about celebration. It's about assignment. What God is doing in you now is not a reward for endurance. It's a release into function. You were hidden not to be safe, but to be shaped. And now heaven is releasing you not to be admired, but to be deployed. You will be called into spaces that once ignored your voice. You will be asked to advise in rooms that once closed their doors. But don't mistake the invitation as affirmation of your worth. It's simply confirmation of your readiness. God is not giving you a platform to promote yourself. He's giving you reach so you can pour out. This uplift is not your validation, it's your vessel. And heaven expects you to carry it with fear, trembling, and fierce devotion. The one who's coming to elevate you is not coming to anoint you as king. They are coming to activate you as servant. Their voice will open doors, but your posture will determine what flows through them. If you treat this favor as status, you will crush under the weight of false glory. But if you treat it as stewardship, heaven will multiply what flows from your obedience. This is the moment where heaven tests the integrity of your oil. Can you be entrusted with influence and still remain empty of ego? Can you be placed in the spotlight and still hunger for the secret place? Can you be celebrated by men without losing the trembling that came from walking with God in silence? Chosen one, this is not promotion, it is positioning. You're not being elevated because of your charisma. You're being entrusted because of your character. God is not just calling you higher, He's calling you deeper. And with every step upward, He will require more prayer, more purity, more humility, because this next level is not safe. It is sacred. There are souls attached to your voice, territories attached to your obedience, regions that have remained in drought, waiting for your yes. You are not just stepping into opportunity. You are stepping into spiritual responsibility. The stranger being sent is just the signpost, but the road ahead, that is the mission. And the fruit of it will not be measured in applause, but in transformation. So don't prepare to be seen, prepare to be poured out. Don't long to be followed, long to be faithful. For if you carry this season rightly, your life will not just be elevated, it will become an altar, and those who encounter you will not be impressed by your story. They will be undone by His presence in you. Chosen one, when the door opens, when favor finally finds you, when the stranger speaks your name with keys in hand and opportunity in their voice, remember this truth. With fear and trembling, they are not your source. They are a vessel, a tool, a shadow of the real hand that has carried you this far. Do not let gratitude blur your discernment. Do not let honor turn into idolatry. Yes, they will bless you. Yes, their obedience will change your life. But it was not their hand that sustained you in the dark. It was not their voice that answered you in the night. It was not their strategy that covered you when you felt forgotten. It was God, long before they knew your name. He wrote it on the walls of his throne room. Long before they came with help, he walked with you through the wilderness with nothing but his presence. So don't be deceived by the shine of sudden opportunity. Don't let the weight of the open door shift the posture of your worship. The stranger may carry the key, but it was heaven that built the door. And the moment you treat the messenger as the miracle, you risk forfeiting the very glory God entrusted to you. This is the test within the blessing. Can you remember who sent the rain when the clouds appear? Can you still fall on your knees when the platform is raised? Can you still cry out for God when people are now calling your name? Heaven has no God. Interest in raising stars. Heaven raises servants, those who refuse to steal the glory, even when they carry the spotlight. Let this be your vow. I will not worship the vessel. I will not idolize the connection. I will not depend on the gift more than the giver. I will remember who authored my elevation, and I will return every crown to his feet. Because this stranger, no matter how generous, how powerful, how divine the timing is, not your answer. They are evidence of the answer's faithfulness. So receive the blessing, but remain broken. Walk through the door, but stay bowed low. Let their help confirm your calling, but never replace your hunger for God's voice. And when they ask you how this happened, don't you dare give man the credit. Don't you dare say, it just worked out. Look them in the eye and say, with fire in your bones, this was God. All of it. Every delay, every tear, every open door, every stranger who helped. It was all written, and it was all him. Chosen one. Before the blessing rests upon you, the brokenness within you must be surrendered. Because no matter how divine the appointment, no matter how perfectly timed the stranger's arrival, if your heart is still bleeding from unhealed wounds, you will sabotage what heaven has finally released. God will never send a gift meant to build you, only for you to destroy it with fear, pride, or mistrust. Some doors don't open because your gift isn't ready, they remain shut because your heart is still wounded. You say you're prepared, but underneath the anointing lies a heart still holding offense, still hiding rejection, still bracing for betrayal. And if you don't allow God to heal it, you will confuse divine connection with manipulation and sabotage alignment with suspicion. This is why God had to keep you hidden for so long, not just to prepare others to find you, but to give you time to let go of what broke you. He could not send someone to recognize you while you were still angry at those who overlooked you. He could not bring destiny to your doorstep while you were still building walls around your trust. And now, as heaven begins to align everything you've prayed for, you must make a holy decision. Will you receive what's coming in fear or in faith? Because the weight of this next season cannot be carried by a heart still chained to the last one. If you don't allow God to heal you, you will treat divine help as a threat. You will shrink back from the very breakthrough you begged for. You will push away the person God sent because they feel too different, too unfamiliar, too kind. You'll question their motives not because of what they did, but because of what others before them never repented for. Chosen one. God is not just giving you a door, He's giving you responsibility. And you cannot walk into this next room with an orphan spirit. The old wounds must be surrendered. The inner vows must be broken. That voice in your head telling you no one stays, everyone leaves help, always comes with a price. That voice must die at the altar. Because this time it's different. This time it's God. Don't miss this move, because you never made peace with your past. Don't drop the key you've been praying for, because you've never seen love come without pain. Let God cleanse the inner chamber of your heart, so when favor comes you won't fight it. You'll flow with it. The blessing isn't heavy to the healed. The calling isn't a burden to the whole. But the wounded heart will always see favor as a threat. So lay it down now. Let Him touch what you've been hiding, because what's coming is too holy to be filtered through brokenness. And heaven will not pour eternal purpose into a vessel still leaking from past betrayal. Chosen one, do not mistake this elevation for the finish line. It is not the mountaintop, it is the gate. What's opening before you is not your final reward, it's your deployment point. The stranger who is coming, the favor that is being released, the door that is swinging wide. It is not to crown you, but to commission you. Heaven does not raise you to rest. It raises you to run. You must not allow this moment to make you settle. This is not the season to get comfortable. It is the hour to become consecrated. Because the elevation God is bringing you into is not about visibility, it's about responsibility. This is where your voice must become sharper, your posture, lower your prayers deeper. You are stepping into a realm where oil is costly and impact is eternal. And to carry the weight of that, you must walk with reverence. There are people tied to your obedience. There are nations hidden in your yes. This next chapter is not just about your fulfillment, it's about spiritual deliverance for others. What you do with this access will either birth legacy or delay destiny. You are no longer just receiving grace, you are now required to release it. You are being positioned to break cycles, shift atmospheres, and uproot darkness in places where comfort has ruled for too long. This is why the warfare was so intense, why the rejection was so sharp, why the silence was so long. Because what you're stepping into is not common, it's commissioned, and the authority that's being placed on your life cannot be taken lightly. You've passed the test of hiding now, you must pass the test of being seen, and that test is much harder because when the spotlight comes, so does the temptation to lose your center. But remember this gate is holy ground. You are not being celebrated, you are being trusted. You are not being applauded, you are being appointed. God is not raising you to build your own name. He is raising you to reveal His, and if you forget that you will fumble the very thing heaven fought to deliver to you. So don't confuse arrival with assignment. Don't trade your altar for a throne. Don't settle for promotion when heaven is calling you into prophecy. This is not the end, it's the entrance. And what comes next will demand more of you than ever before, not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. And the chosen never stop moving until the mission is complete. They will ask you one day, with genuine wonder, even disbelief, they'll look at your life, at the doors that opened without effort, at the rooms that once ignored you, now waiting for your voice, and they'll ask, how did you get here? They'll marvel at the favor that surrounds you like a shield, at the influence that found you without announcement, at the opportunities that aligned so perfectly. They seem unreal. And when they do, when their eyes search yours for the secret formula, you must remember the truth, not the surface story, not the edited version, but the real, holy, sacred truth that only you and heaven fully know. Because this was not luck. This was not networking, or branding, or brilliance. It wasn't a result of hustling nor a reward for perfection. You didn't strategize your way into this season. You didn't climb into it with ambition or force. You were carried, pulled, led by a hand unseen, preserved through silence, protected in darkness, prepared when no one was watching. So when they ask, let your answer come not from pride but from fire. I didn't get here. God brought me here. Tell them you didn't open the door, He did. You didn't make the connection. It found you. Tell them there were nights you nearly quit, days when nothing made sense, seasons when your prayers echoed unanswered. Tell them you were overlooked, rejected and silenced, yet God still whispered your name in rooms you never entered. Let them know that everything they now admire came from a place they never saw. Those secret hours of surrender, those hidden battles with self, those tears that fell when you had nothing left to offer but your obedience. Let your life be a testimony, not a platform for self-glory. If God chooses to lift you, let it be His name that rises higher still. If He makes you visible, make sure your heart remains bowed low. When influence comes, stay anchored in the secret place. When favor surrounds you, let worship go deeper. For if your name is being exalted, it is only so that His name can be revealed through you. The elevation is not about being known, it's about being used. It's not about being praised, it's about being poured out. So when they ask how you arrived here, don't give them a polished speech. Give them the altar. Let them hear the sound of surrender in your voice. Let them feel the weight of reverence in your answer. Say it with holy fear, with tears, if needed, but with unwavering clarity. It was written, it was time, and it was God. Father in heaven, I come before you not with polished words, but with trembling awe. Thank you for speaking to me clearly, intimately, and urgently. I know now that this moment wasn't random. It was written. It was appointed. It was you. I lay my heart bare before you. I surrender the pride I've hidden behind the pain. I've never named the fear that silently ruled me, and the walls I built to survive rejection. Break what must be broken. Heal what must be healed. Empty me of everything you cannot use, and fill me only with what carries eternity. I don't want to miss the one you're sending. I don't want to mismanage the door you've already prepared. So ready me, refine me, sanctify me. Let me be found faithful, not just gifted. Let me be found trustworthy, not just anointed. Lord, I repent for every time I chased the wrong thing: approval, applause, status, when you were simply calling me to posture, purity, and prayer. Today, I choose your way again. Not the path of comfort, but the road of consecration. Not the spotlight, but the secret place. Let the oil on my life never speak louder than the worship in my soul. I declare in faith that what you've spoken will come to pass. The stranger with my key is already moving. The door is already forming. The moment is already set. But even as it comes, I vow this: I will not touch your glory. I will not confuse the vessel for the source. I will not crown myself with what was always yours. So when they ask how I got here, let my life preach louder than my words. Let them see you in every step, every open door, every miracle. Let my story burn with the truth that it wasn't me, it was you. It was always you. It was written. It was time. And it was God. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen.